It's another Mink and Diamond Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, your VIP ticket to the 24-karat core of success. Your host is Robin Leach, who circles the globe to uncover the stories America will never stop talking about.
It's a long way from evil JR and Dallas, and when runaway adventurer Deborah Shelton packed her trunks to explore the land of smiles, she rode in high style. Thailand, formerly Siam, is bordered by Cambodia, Laos and Burma. It's the last unexplained secret of the Far East and tempts curious Westerners to a one-of-a-kind travel experience like nothing else on Earth.
I think Thailand's probably the most exotic, special place I've ever been in the whole world. I felt really away. That's something that we always look for in traveling, is to be far away from everything, really disconnected.
Deborah settled in easily to the absolute comforts of the super deluxe surroundings of our #1 ranking for the world's best grand modern hotel.
I think the Oriental Hotel is the best hotel I've ever been to anywhere in the world. The people are so eager to please. Each suite happens to be of a different author, and it's done with that author's picture there and a set of the books he wrote, and it's just unbelievable.
And you just know we'll fully explore this Asian palace on a future edition. Deborah and her husband, music composer Shuki Levy, couldn't wait to explore the dazzling capital full of palaces that shape the skyline.
It's amazing. It's just awesome. It is incredible. You wonder what the people were on that designed this, because it's so overdone and overdone and overdone, and yet not to any kind of a tacky point. It's like the most. It's like they couldn't put any more into it. The detail is out of this world. It's just not something I've ever seen before.
The temple of the Emerald Buddha is the most sacred in all Bangkok. Before anyone's allowed inside, it's shoes off, please. Television cameras are also a no-no, but nobody said anything to Deborah about a souvenir snap. The Grand Palace was built in 1782 by the first king of Bangkok. In 1946, after a king was murdered inside, the royal family moved to safer dwellings and kept the Grand Palace strictly for ceremony. The ancient city's most impressive treasure is the Wat Trim Tree, the golden Buddha. For centuries, its value was cunningly concealed under layers of pottery clay to discourage thieves. But when it accidentally tipped over, jackpot! The outer layer cracked to reveal a 10-foot-tall, solid gold Buddha.
I could not believe that they told me that was 5.5 tons of gold there, and it was so grand and so big, and to think that people protected that for so many, many centuries with different things, I thought that was really incredible.
Bangkok's network of canals, called klongs, earned it the nickname Venice of the East. Instead of gondolas, they raced klong cabs. Deborah couldn't resist.
Traveling on a klong was really fun. I don't know, between that and riding an elephant, which was more exciting for me.
Deborah's next surprise was the city's thriving antiques trade, and a shop called Monogram, owned by Connie Mangskow, is our tip for the treasures of old Siam. But JR's former love had more rich and famous souvenirs in mind, so it was full speed to one of Bangkok's most prestigious jewelers. Sapphires have a special sparkle. Few visitors can resist Thailand's most popular product. Deborah didn't even try to resist. You can find it in most Far Eastern cities, but nothing compares to the silks of Bangkok.
I just have not been able to believe the colors of the Thai silk. I mean, you see them all together. It's just pleasurable to look at the bolts of fabric there and They make clothes overnight or in a few hours, and they have beautiful flair for fashion, and I've brought back gifts for everybody. It's just so beautiful.
The secrets of world-famous Thai cuisine are taught to Westerners at Charlie Ammett Yackel's cooking school. Deborah discovered you don't learn centuries-old technique overnight, but $2,000 a week gets the ABC of basic spices and a whole new appreciation of contrasting flavors.
There are so many spices that go into it, and really, after studying with the chef and all, knowing how they prepare the spices, how they get them together, they don't just throw stuff in the pot. I mean, I had a dessert that was fruits with garlic, shallots, and it all sounds horrible, and when you taste it, it's just unbelievably creative. It's great.
Across the Klong from Bangkok's Oriental Hotel, the Sala Nim Ram restaurant is a world's best bet for gourmet Thai food. Deborah and Shuki decided to really tie one on with a traditional 8-course feast with all the extras. Just when they thought the extravaganza of taste sensations couldn't get any better, cabaret time!
I thought the food was terrific there, and the show added to the flavor. I mean, you just don't get that every place, and it's real. That's what you feel here, that everything's real. It's not for show. It's not dolled up and Vegas style.
Bangkok, according to the musical chess, does make a hard man humble, but it left Deborah with some happy memories of Buddhas, beauties, and great buys.
The gold, the jewels, and the colors, it just takes you away. I just have so many memories to live off of for a long time, or a short time till I can get back.
More than a haunting tropical melody, there exists a faraway corner of the world that is the fantasy escape of anyone who dares to dream. Andie MacDowell found fame and fortune starring in the movie St. Elmo's Fire. But when she needed a break from the roller coaster of Hollywood, she listened with her heart and heard the call of the land where dreams are made.
Andie's adventure began with an 11-hour luxury Qantas flight from Los Angeles to an enchanted world. Destination Nandi on the island of Viti Levu, just 15 minutes away from one of the world's most luxurious resort hotels.
When I got there, the first thing I wanted to do was get to the beach and get some rest. So I threw on my bathing suit. And I walked out my door and I found this perfect spot all by myself. I laid down, and the next thing I knew, the waiter brings me up this beautiful drink. And it was like paradise. It was perfect.
The region is super luxury under the sun. Designed after a traditional Fijian village, it has 300 rooms and is thoughtfully designed so guests never feel crowded. You don't know the meaning of sip and dip until you surface at the pool bar for an exotic Fijian thirst quencher. The region has it all, from a golf course with a Pacific view all round to 10 championship tennis courts designed by John Newcomb. Despite every tempting diversion on Andie's first day, nothing could keep her away from some of the most beautiful beaches under the sun. Splashing through Fiji's cool, clean surf can give a girl an appetite. So Andie joined Sister Barbara for lunch at the first of the region's 3 gourmet restaurants she would visit. Next, shopping. They soon found the resort's duty-free stores that sell flawless local pearls that were once used throughout the island chain as currency.
At the end of the day, take a sunset ride on your horse. It was just like a dream come true.
But it was only the beginning of her adventure of a lifetime. Early next day, she caught the seaplane. Mission to seek and find the true Fijian experience on the mysterious outer islands. Of 300 enchanted islands, only 100 are inhabited. Andie picked Turtle Island on the Yazawa chain and found a real-life fantasy island. Privately owned by American millionaire Richard Avanson, tiny Turtle Island is one of the best-kept secrets of the rich and famous. A dozen couples at a time vacation on Evanston's 500-acre island, and each couple gets their own private beach. Turtle Airways will splash you down onto what's got to be the perfect place for anyone who hates crowds. You leave more than your cares behind here. You leave cash and credit cards too. The $300 a night per person price tag is settled well in advance. All you have to do is kick back and enjoy life the way it was meant to be lived. Little wonder Turtle Island was the perfect location to shoot Blue Lagoon. We've all seen the movie. Now feast your eyes on the real thing. Guests live in their own Fijian hut called a burr. That looks more back to nature than it really is. A discreet, efficient staff of 40 catered to your every whim. There are no cars, no telephones, no television. Just some of the most awe-inspiring sights of nature the human eye will ever see.
The specialty about Turtle Island is that they want to create your own fantasy. Having seen the Blue Lagoon, I immediately wanted to get under the water. So we had them take us out on a boat to go snorkeling in the most beautiful place I had ever seen to snorkel. Incredible. It was so bright and colorful. The fish everywhere surrounding us. It was really, really something to see. It was very special.
The wonderland beneath the turquoise blue Pacific is an eye-opener. In warm, clear waters, you'll find exotic marine life for study or for lunch. The unhurried hideaway of Turtle Island is a must for anyone who's serious about an instant antidote to the real world. It was easy to include it in Runaway's pick of the best resort hideaways in the world. Andy means Royal Queen in Fijian, and boy did she fulfill a royal fantasy the last night on Turtle Island. A sunset serenade and a ride along the beach in the island's equivalent of a luxury limo. Who wouldn't love it? Her adventure took an unplanned turn when Mogul magazine publisher Malcolm Forbes invited Andy and sister to board his private plane and visit his private island. The multimillionaire was her personal tour guide of a South Sea kingdom. Forbes' house on the hill commands an all-round view of his Pacific island of Lathala, which has every modern luxury imaginable. Forbes might have kept Lathala to himself. Instead, he rents dream vacation huts for $1,650 a week. Take your choice, beachfront burr or hilltop hideaway. Each comes fully equipped. The kitchen is stocked with mouth-watering island delicacies, and the bar is bursting with vintage bubbly. It's the perfect place to tan on the tennis court, set sail and chart your own course to a deserted island, or pit wits and stamina against exotic deep-sea fish. When we say deserted island, we ain't kidding. Imagine pure paradise and nobody home. Just when she thought it couldn't possibly get any better, she went ashore and explored her own uninhabited treasure island. Dusk heralded the sad farewell to this magical chain of islands that appear to have no bearing on the madcap real world beyond. On her last night, Andy allowed herself to be swept up and away by the magic and mystery of Fiji, tempting land of tropical dreams. Leaving paradise is never easy, even when you fly out in style aboard Malcolm Forbes' $20 million 727 jet. But the lucky few who experience Fiji know you're never quite the same again. As Andy headed back to the cut and thrust of Hollywood, she knew in her heart and in her dreams that the world's entertainment capital will never faze her, for she has seen heaven on earth.
The Greek islands are the hippest Hellenic hotspots in the Aegean. They have long drawn rich and famous fun seekers who demand sizzling sun and spectacular surroundings. Life on the islands moves at a distinctively slower pace. Tiny seaside villages dot the hilly terrain and showcase classic Greek homes. Each is a timeless reminder of the simple good life still found on the coast. The Greek islands are scattered to the southeast of the mainland. Legend has it that Apollo hurled the 2,000 isles into the Aegean in a fit of pique. Though unmistakably part of glorious Greece, each island has a unique style, from barren to bountiful. Just choosing among all your options is a Herculean task. For locals, island hopping is as simple as packing the ouzo, raising the sails, and setting course for any distant landmass on the horizon. Rich and famous vacationers start their Greek island odyssey with some top-line cruising. The man who has spent a lifetime exploring the cobalt blue Aegean is Bill Lefakinis, owner of Valif Yachts. He charters to the superstars, Charlton Heston, Kenny Rogers, and Stephanie Powers. The price of high seas luxury can run thousands of dollars a day, but nothing's better than stretching out in your own private cabin after a long day among the islands Homer immortalized.
Hollywood beauty Claire Yarlett and husband Claude Ravier had a simple request for Valif yacht owner Bill Lefakinis. Find a very special charter ship for their Greek island adventure. No boats about it. It just had to be his $10 million, 112-foot high seas hotel, Do Venus. Complete with captain, cook and crew, it costs $10,000 a day. But any trip in this deluxe dream machine is smooth sailing. Our visitors soaked up the sun and realized what they'd been missing as landlubbers.
The most exquisite thing about being on a yacht is that you have the luxury, especially on the Do Venus, you have the luxury of being in one of the best hotels in the world, but you have the privacy and the isolation of being on a deserted island. So it's a great combination because nobody likes to give up their luxuries.
The Do Venus cuts smoothly through the Aegean at up to 50 miles an hour. The couple eagerly decked themselves out for island exploration. And just minutes after they said land ho, it was let's go. First job, explore the enchanted island. Claire and Claude hopped right to it. The scenic island of Hydra has been a long-time favorite of the European sail set. Cruising from the Greek mainland to its tranquil harbor takes just under 3 hours. Hydra has been the romantic runaway of loving couples from Elizabeth Taylor and husband number 4, Eddie Fisher, to Aristotle and Jackie Onassis. It hasn't lost any of its magic.
Oh, I loved Hydra. It was absolutely what one would expect, or what I had expected of a Greek island.
In Hydra, being chauffeured doesn't mean a limo. No muling. 4 on the floor refers to donkey power because cars are strictly forbidden. The island has changed little over the centuries. Visitors feel they've stepped back in time.
We took a mile-long hike up Hydra, which was really worth it when you came up to sort of a plateau in the mountain and looked out, and you had nearly a 240-degree view. It was just fabulous.
Hydra welcomes vacationers from every corner of the globe. When it comes to plastic power, some visitors don't leave Mecca without it. Their day of fun was far from done. Our adventurers headed back to the Do Venus, where personal pampering was a pure Grecian godsend. But with the nightlife awaiting, they said, bottoms up, and hit the dance floor at the island inn spot, La Gudera. Claire bopped till she dropped, then unwound on the pooped-out deck the next day. Island cruising by yacht will make you feel like royalty in your own floating castle. Claire decreed it was the ultimate queen bee treatment.
It's just fabulous being on the boat, going over across the waters and seeing different islands. You have such a feeling of freedom and exhilaration. It's amazing.
The good ship Do Venus docked at the next stop-off, 35 miles from Hydra and 70 miles from the mainland. There's only one way to tour all 8 miles of the traditional fishing island of Spetses.
Riding in the horse and buggy in Spetses was surprisingly comfortable. Actually, probably the best way to get around in that island. Absolutely, the streets are completely unpaved. But it's a lot of fun. It's a novelty. You're out in the air and you're getting some fresh air and you really can see where you're going, and it adds to the charm of the feeling of the island.
Its proximity to the mainland makes Spetses more than just a popular summer runaway for Greek tycoons. Rich and famous Hollywood headliners, from Robert Wagner to Anthony Quinn, also make the trek to relax in this super exclusive getaway. At one of Spetses' many sidewalk tavernas, the visitors finally got a real taste for the flavor of the island.
Hi. Hi. Oh, good. Yeah, right. That's perfect.
The food tasted fabulous. The tomatoes taste fabulous. The cheese is incredible. I mean, the food is really superior. I mean, there's just so many different types of ways they cook.
Right.
1 smile west of Spetses is Spatsapula. They say no man is an island, but don't you believe it? Billionaire shipping mogul Stavros Niarchos owns the whole place. He bought his private gem in the Aegean in the 40s, and his arch-rival Aristotle Onassis later countered with the purchase of Scorpius. Discovering a stretch of deserted shore is no problem on Spatsapula. Just drop your dinghy and hit the beaches.
Finding your own beach, you don't have to worry about anybody walking along. The feeling is that when you're two of you are there, no one else is spoiling the nature of the island. You don't see another human, so you feel completely removed from civilization.
The couple's final stop was the 9-smile island of Paros. Claire and Claude scaled to the highest point on the island and took their adventure to new heights.
So you could look across, you see the mainland of Greece, and you could see the channel and the islands. It was probably the most busy, active view that we had seen since we'd been on the trip, but just beautiful.
The chef pulled out all the stops on their last night aboard Venus. They were treated to a seafood feast fit for King Neptune. It was a fabulous finale to an unforgettable Aegean adventure. Claire discovered there really is a Greek island for everyone.
Greece has a taste for everyone. If you want to go away and be completely isolated, you want to be on a private island, you want to be on an uncivilized island, or you even want to be on an island that has nightlife, you can do all of them. I was told when I left Athens that I would fall in love all over again, and they were absolutely right, except that I fell in love twice. Once again with Claude and once again with the Greek islands.
When the rich and famous want a taste of English perfection under the sun, they visit the grand old queen of the Caribbean islands. Welcome to sunny Barbados and its liftoff. It was here gorgeous Terry Copley found sweet release from Hollywood's pressure cooker on white ribbons of sand in a land where relaxation is the rule. Stiff upper-lip British aristocracy started coming here more than 300 years ago to escape old Blighty's wicked winters. Today, Barbados charts her own course, independent from England's crown. But it remains a high-price hideaway for the wealthy for one simple reason. There are 365 perfect beaches, one for every day of the year.
Barbados was so beautiful. It was the most romantic place. The beaches were crystal blue and the sand was white and it felt like silk on your toes. It was like foamy. It was like swimming in champagne.
The name Cunard is synonymous with luxury on the high seas. So perhaps it's no surprise that when you hit dry ground here in Barbados, you'd find a member of the Cunard family had established this beautiful piece of property. The Glitter Bay Hotel is a double delight. Old world charm and ultra-luxury extras in a fabulously remodeled package. We rate the Glitter Bay as one of the best on this island in the sun. The living is easy in the elegantly understated suites. Can't you just picture yourself languishing in complete, absolute luxury right here without a care in the world? Each new day, your first sight is the cobalt blue water beckoning you to take the plunge. But hold on, this is vacation time, remember? So first, the breakfast of champions on the terrace.
I think the thing I liked most about staying at Glitter Bay was that the people were so friendly and they were just the most pleasant people. Every morning I'd have breakfast outside, and I'd feed all the birds.
Here's a typical tough day in paradise. Relax poolside or hit the beach? Decisions, decisions. Have we found the ultimate gem in the Caribbean paradise for you? This is Bachelor Hall in Barbados. It costs $8,000 a week, but when you look around, you'll easily understand why. Pass through the gateway to your private retreat next door and voila, your own tropical Garden of Eden. Each bedroom at no expense spared Bachelor Hall opens onto the shimmering aqua blue pool. If it was anywhere else but Barbados, you'd be forgiven for never leaving. But we couldn't stop our outdoor girl, Terry, from exploring this secret Shangri-La, which we rate as Runaway's best hideaway retreat. There's no better way to bear back.
It was so romantic at night because the sky is so clear and it seems like all the stars have gathered in this one little spot above Glitter Bay, and you could hear the music playing just like a soft sort of tropical reggae.
When the sun goes down, the fun really begins and the beat is downright addictive. This was a hard act to follow, but we were all affected by the throbbing Caribbean rhythm of the night. Terry had no choice about taking center stage. Then things really started to heat up. Thank goodness Terry didn't get involved in this act. After a full day's excitement, we were both ready for something quieter. So I took her for a spin in this unique mini-moke runabout, easily the most fun way to scoot about the island. If you're traveling this way, don't miss the mysterious tree the locals call the traveler's palm. Nick its trunk with a pocket knife and it weeps symbolically. It was all terribly thirsty work, so we stopped off at Dilly's for ice-cold tropical cocktails. Then wandered down into Bridgetown. You'll be amazed at the bargains here. Savvy shoppers head for Cave Shepherd, where locals trade fancy food and friendly spirits. Bridgetown has its own Trafalgar Square. Not quite like the London one I know and love, but this version predates that by 27 years. It was a tough choice, but we rated Cranes Beach worthy of a runaway pick as one of the world's 10 best beaches.
I think that beach was the most beautiful. It was like sleeping in satin sheets or silk sheets. It was just beautiful.
A must-see in Barbados is the elegant Sandy Lane Hotel. Built on the site of an old sugarcane plantation, it offers a nostalgic trip down memory lane for anyone who remembers England's past glory. It was created specifically for Old England's privileged elite, who sipped tea at the seaside and said it jolly well was better than Brighton. You know, dreams really do come true in Barbados. Terry was bowled over when her boyfriend, rocker Mickey Free of the Shalimar Group, flew in and surprised his lady love with an invitation to dinner. But where? It called for an all-out effort, and after weighing all the local romantic spots, we chose the oldest and finest restaurant on Barbados. It originally changed owners to pay debts in a card game.
The food was wonderful, and it just sort of let Barbados go out with a big bang.
Oh, beautiful Barbados, island in the sun. If heaven on earth exists, it's surely the grand old queen of the Caribbean. When the Windsong made its debut in New York City's harbor in 1987, we predicted it would join its sister ship, the Windstar, as the most luxurious way to travel the tropics. Cruising the calm waters of the South Pacific, the 440-foot boat is the longest sailing vessel of its kind anywhere in the world. Determined to find out why the jet set and the sail set fell head over keels for the Windsong, Tracy Scoggins and mandate John Hall cast off for a once-in-a-lifetime voyage around French Polynesia on the ultimate super ship.
The joy of this boat is that it's a sailboat. You really have the feeling of being more one with the sea. You know, you don't have to rely on the engines, and you can sort of go back in time in your mind. It's primitive here, and I think in keeping with that primitiveness, it's nice to be on a true sailing ship. It was really interesting because everything on this boat is computerized, and it's not what I expected. It's not the old-fashioned sailing ship. The sails are so enormous that everything is run by computers, and they're raised and lowered like that.
When Tracy wasn't busy boning up on her nautical know-how, she was working hard at just taking it easy as one of the ship's 150 pampered passengers.
The Windsong is really like a four-star luxury hotel that happens to be out at sea in French Polynesia. It's really something. Here we are in one of the most remote regions of the world, and we have, forget all the comforts of home, we have more than the comforts of home.
The super luxurious vessel boasts a fully equipped workout center to keep cruisers in real ship shape. After her workout, Tracy was ready for more adventure, so she hopped a ride on one of the Windsong's 4 speedboats.
There's something about the islands here that makes you feel so healthy. It's a combination of a lot of things. You know, getting a nice suntan quickly. The moist air makes your skin feel better and look better. Makes my hair curlier, but 2 out of 3 is not bad.
While other passengers chose to sail and windsurf, Tracy decided to take the plunge and tour the island of Huahine by water ski.
This is really something to... The scenery is almost a distraction here. It's so beautiful, you forget that you're water skiing. And the best part of it was you're having a sightseeing tour while you're exercising and having fun.
Maybe it was just the balmy sea breezes, but Tracy felt the Windsong seemed more like a love song.
There's really something romantic about being on a boat. It's like the minute you step on the gangplank, you're sort of licensed to be naughty. I guess one thing that helps along romance is just being away from all the distractions of home and business and work. This environment just puts all that out of your mind and romance takes over.
By nightfall, the fun's just getting started when party animals really rocked the boat. Tracy got decked out to check out the ship's nautical nightlife.
I really love to dance, so we did a lot of dancing here on board and did a lot more gambling than I should have. But it was fun. There's just something so comforting about this ship because for the most part it sails at night and it sort of rocks you to sleep and lulls you into dreams about the islands, and it's just really pleasant. French Polynesia is definitely a place I'd like to come back to. I have a lot of nice memories from this place now.
Nestled on the Santiago Peninsula between Acapulco and Puerto Vallarta, glistening Las Hadas overlooks the Bay of Manzanillo on Mexico's Gold Coast. This world's best resort boasts a blend of Moorish, Mediterranean, and Mexican architecture that was the dream of Bolivian tin baron Antenor Patino. 6 years in the making, with a $33 million price tag, Las Hadas opened in 1974 to the sun-seeking rich and famous. International star Elke Summer ran away to Las Hadas to give us a report. She had nothing but flowering praise.
I was quite surprised at the opulence of flora, the hibiscus and the palms. It's very much like Sri Lanka. I had imagined it much drier and much more desert-like. Then, of course, the complex itself, when we drove in, is mind-boggling because I love white. And I'm a painter, and it's paradise. The architect, in my opinion, was a genius. He combined a lot of styles into one total symbiotic kind of building complex. Even in the rooms, the edges are rounded.
There are 203 deluxe rooms, 63 are suites, and one is a perfect 10 after Bo Derek made it famous in the hit movie with Dudley Moore. The price? $800 a night. Each room has a spectacular view, and some even have private pools. But for the real wet and wild set, it's Manzanillo Bay for fishing water skiing, sailing, snorkeling, and sailboarding. For the dry and mighty, there's the exclusive quarter-mile beach dotted with trademark Moorish tents. But Elke's love of the deep led her straight to the bay.
The waters are so warm that you're not forced to get out after half an hour because you're shivering to death, you know. And even the fauna, the animals, the fish underwater, are extraordinary. But then I'm a kind of a country girl, so this is my kind of living. I'm not crazy about cities.
After testing the waters, Elke got into the swing of things on one of Las Hadas' 8 tennis courts. Just imagine, a super healthy workout in movie star comfort, plus a great tan. Elke had 3 gourmet restaurants to choose from. Decisions. Los Delfines on the spectacular open-air terrace for fresh seafood. Legazpi overlooking the marina for continental haute cuisine. And Elke's favorite, El Toral, overlooking all of Las Hadas for the finest Mexican dining. After dinner, she peeked in on the Cartouche Disco, where they danced till dawn. Quicker than you could say ole, it was off to a red-hot Las Hadas Mexican fiesta, where she really got into the spirit of things among the swirling senoritas.
It's the tremendous amount of joy of life and noise, and so it's not so 100% perfect, but who cares? It has simpatico, it has life, it moves, it is not sterile. I'd much rather see that than something perfectly choreographed.
Las Hadas literally means the fairies, and for Elke Summer, her first trip was a fairy tale dream come true.
I would like to come back here, and I've seen most of all of the world besides Greece, Russia, Tibet, everywhere, Sri Lanka, India, Australia, you name it. I'd like to come back here, I really would.
Take it from Elke, they always shoot the works at Mexico's sparkling resort. Dynasty's Leanne Hunley had over 13,000 Indonesian islands to choose from. But for her runaway adventure, by golly, she picked Bali, the island of the gods. If there's a heaven on earth, this Indian Ocean paradise is it. Bali's refreshingly primitive beauty draws jet-setters from all over the world. Located just east of Java, the country's larger main island, Bali is by far Indonesia's most popular destination. On the island, the dry season extends from June to October, but it was more than just the tropical climate that appealed to Leanne.
I loved getting up every morning and having my coffee out on the balcony and just looking out and enjoying the view, because a lot of a vacation is getting away and doing nothing.
And what could be better than doing nothing at the Nusa Dua Beach Hotel? The laid-back lifestyle was an immediate hit with Leanne and husband Bill Sheridan, who found the hotel's style and service as relaxing as the surroundings.
The Nusa Dua Hotel is a beautiful hotel. We were treated like king and queen. We felt very comfortable there. If you were going to go to an island where there was nothing else available, you could be happy in this one hotel alone.
Leanne's room was a moonlit example of tasteful tropical opulence, but the executive seal of approval went to this suite just 1 floor below. Here, President and Mrs. Reagan rest their heads of state when visiting. Secured with bulletproof glass, the suite comes complete with its own private swimming pool for governing bodies to take a dip. 2 huge master bedrooms offer plenty of presidential space. The cost is just a drop in the budget for America's Commander-in-Chief, $1,200 a night. Now that's Bali High.
Bali is known as the Island of the Gods because it's home to over 1,000 temples. At one of the island's oldest and largest Hindu houses of worship, glamorous actress Leanne Hunley found the people as inspirational as the spiritual surroundings.
The Royal Temple was very cute because the first thing we encountered when we arrived there was a group of children. Although we were Americans running around with a camera and trying to take pictures of them, they had no shyness of it. The Balinese people are extremely happy. They smile at you every morning. And so it was very nice to wake up every day and find some people that are so happy to be alive and to enjoy life.
Traditionally, Balinese temples are surrounded by an outer wall, believed to keep out evil spirits. But, most important, they are always left uncovered by roofs, so the gods may have easy passage into their sacred holy rituals.
The temple itself was a bit amazing because it was breathtaking. I felt in awe of it a lot because, you know, a lot of culture has gone through that place, and they're very serious about their religion, and you don't want to do anything to trespass upon their feelings.
A Hindu priest gave his blessings to Leanne's trip. Quite relieved, she and husband Bill headed into the village of Ubud to get a first-hand look at the much ballyhooed local artwork.
Balinese painting is extremely intricate. We went to an artist studio where a gentleman was working on a painting, and it seems to me that you would have to work 2 years on a painting. I think that probably takes them 2 weeks to finish. And I think it has something to do with the fact that the Balinese are extremely patient.
Then it was dynasty meets dynasty. Leanne was given an exclusive tour of the royal palace by the Prince of Ubud.
It's very interesting. Their palace is very open. It's made up of several different houses that have an open porch. And he was very gracious, extremely educated, and proud of his culture and his family and his background, and the most lovely, gracious host I've run into in a long time.
Though Leanne maintains a career and home life, she discovered that balancing act is nothing compared to the one performed by every Balinese woman.
I must say, it's not as easy as it looks. I, of course, had to go back to my old charm school days of carrying books upon my head to remember how to balance it on my head.
To the headstrong locals, even transporting heavy baskets of volcanic mud is a cinch.
The women in Bali work very hard. The men in Bali work very hard. And through it all, they remain very happy people.
A must for first-time visitors is watching Bali's master woodcarvers in action. For these expert chiselers, every chip off the old block is a costly work of art.
It's phenomenal to me that probably 15 people can sit within a space of the size of a normal bedroom and sit for 8 hours and carve and create such beauty that will last forever. No amount of time is too long for them to spend on the smallest detail. And they are very, very patient.
Leanne followed the locals to an area outside of town and discovered it was monkey see, monkey do on this other side of Bali.
The monkey forest reminded me, in a way, of how Bali is still a rather rugged country. It still has a lot of its natural habitat. They love their habitat.
Back at the Nusa Dua, I joined Leanne and Bill at an Indonesian-style dinner theatre. That evening's show was a command performance of the Ramayana, one of Bali's most popular folkloric dramas.
It's interesting to me that there are no words. You are told the story in advance, and then you watch the entire performance, and you understand everything that's happening. As an actress, that's interesting to me because, I mean, words are my method. To this culture, words are not important at all.
But what really left Leanne speechless was being pulled out of the audience to take part in the group finale on stage.
You have to be an artist in Bali. You have to do a form of art. They are expressing themselves no matter what they do.
The show stealer was a fitting end to Leanne's Indonesian adventures. She saw more than just the sights. She experienced the real heart and soul of exotic Bali, its people.
I truly, truly am very grateful for what they taught me, and that is to appreciate life every day. I would say that Bali is one of the most beautiful places in the world, and my husband and I are very grateful that we had the opportunity to go there.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Robin Leach.